What up, guys? No, it's Family Chronicles. This is the sports section. How you guys doing this week? Hope you guys have had a good week. Let's get into it. College football playoff is set. Tulane got in like I talked about last week. James Madison got in like I talked about last week. Duke really did win against Virginia like I talked about last week. Holy shit, things have changed in the college football landscape. Fuck Notre Dame. I'm gonna say it like that. Fuck Notre Dame. I don't give a fuck about them. I'm a USC diehard fan, so when Notre Dame beat us earlier this year, it ruined our chances of getting in the playoffs. So hey, fuck you guys. Glad you guys aren't in it anymore. Sucks. Notre Dame's argument was trash. Winning 10 straight after getting blown out by the two best teams you played doesn't look that great. I don't give a shit what you want to say, Notre Dame. USC and my team wasn't in the top 12 ranking teams is your best win. So you were on the outside looking in with your best win anyway, but wanted to pretend that the committee says Notre Dame, because of the independence of that school and because of their pedigree, which is a pedigree to not win anything big, but they got to the national championship last year, so they should be held in high regard. If they would have won against Miami and Texas A&M, they would have been held in high regard. But losing to those two teams to start the season didn't do you any favors. So boo-hoo and bitch and complain and decline bowl games all you want. Real fans like me who like football because of the enjoyment of good teams winning good games understand that Notre Dame probably would have got their shit ran anyway. So nice try, don't want to hear it, really don't. I get the argument I've heard all day today on ESPN and stuff about Tulane and James Madison, because Tulane's playing Ole Miss and they've gotten blown out before. James Madison's playing Oregon and they don't compare to Oregon. And you wait. I have a really good feeling one of these teams, one of those two teams is going to have an upset on their weekend they play. One of those teams is going to win their first game. I guarantee it. More because I feel like y'all trying so hard to shit on Group of 5 teams that are in Group of 5 because of the money. More than anything, the prestige of their programs, not having the acumen or the community around them to make their schools big, like a Texas, like an LSU, like a Clemson, like a Miami, like a Notre Dame, or a Georgia, or Alabama. Like, I'm not gonna knock James Madison. They went 12-1 this year. I'm not gonna knock Tulane. They went 11-2 this year. Those are still two really good teams. It's like knocking Boise State in the early 2000s with Kellen Moore and them boys. And I get they didn't win anything big. They still beat OU a few times. They still had some really, really important wins in really important games. And yes, you can say it all you want, but now in the world of NIL, I don't really believe that you can say for sure this is the best team with the best players. All the best players are waiting for now is money and opportunities to be on really good teams and really great chances. And James Madison has been a really good mill of great players coming out of the school, going to the CFL, going to the NFL now, and just playing good college ball. So, I mean, they went from FCS to FBS for a reason. I think they did that like 3 years ago, and they're already in the college football playoffs. So teams that are blue bloods, that have been known for being great, have not been in the college football playoff before. But James Madison makes it because they went 12-1 and did what they were supposed to do. So I look at Notre Dame and I laugh because Notre Dame didn't do what they're supposed to do. You lost 2 games and then you won 10 straight, but you didn't have a championship game to further or bump up your odds. You just had 12 games to prove your worth, and in those 12 games you did look good winning 10 in a row, but those last 2, they fucked you over, and that's what you get. As for the rest of the field, Indiana beating Ohio State. They deserve to be number 1. Ohio State, still a great team, deserved to be in the top 5. Georgia beating Alabama and whooping that ass. Alabama, same argument I have with Notre Dame. Alabama, it shouldn't hurt them necessarily, so I don't knock them being in the playoff because last year they got kicked out for losing a game they shouldn't have lost. But this year, I get it. They lost. They beat a Florida State team that went 5-7, or they lost to a Florida State team that went 5-7. So it does hurt them. They still beat what became the SEC champion in Georgia. After losing to Georgia and getting blown out, we had to remember that they still beat Georgia in Athens earlier in the season. So that still had to hold weight, especially seeing as they were in the championship themselves. So I felt like they had a better case no matter what, but still kind of wonky for a team like Vanderbilt, who took Alabama to work, who really went 10-2 in the hardest conference in the country, but won't get looked at all. yet Alabama has 3 losses on their docket and get in automatically. So that's a weird conversation too. The BYU conversation, only 2 losses on their schedule to the number 4 team in the country in Texas Tech. So it's not fair to them either. Yet here we are. They're the first 2 teams out, Notre Dame and BYU respectively. But when we have a 16-team playoff in the next 3 years, they'd both be in any other graphic. And Duke would be in any other graphic, an 8-5 team. And Lord can imagine what's going to happen when an 8-5 team gets into a fucking playoff because they have an automatic conference champion bid, and you got 8-4s and 9-3s that are super talented that won't get in. That's going to be a really interesting conversation. So we're going to see how that goes. But I like the field. I think it really has a chance to be super competitive. Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Alabama. Who else is in there? Yeah, no, that's everybody. I'm excited. I think it's going to be really good playoff. Oklahoma is in there too. Really good playoff when it starts here in 3 weeks. Hoping for the underdog story, because in any playoffs, I don't give a damn what it is. Underdog stories make my heart smile. I always hope for the little guy to shine and look brighter than a lot of people around him, because it just makes for a beautiful, beautiful story. So we'll see how the CFP playoff plays out. Bowl games will start here in like a week and a half, so we're already almost in bowl season, which makes me happy but also sad because it's a mark of the end of football being near. So damn. 4 weeks left in the NFL season. Playoff pictures are starting to come into place. The Chiefs lost last night on Sunday Night Football to the Texans, so really putting a damper on their playoff hopes. First year in 9 years, they're not going to win the AFC West. The Ravens lost to the Steelers to lose control of the AFC North. The Rams shit on the Cardinals. What was it? The Cowboys last week losing on Thursday Night Football to the Lions. A lot of teams are starting to really show who they want to be. The NFC honestly is a lot easier to talk about playoff picture wise than the AFC, because you got a lot of teams. The Seahawks are the 5th seed right now, and they're a 10-win team. Which is absurd to say, but they're a 10-win team who is the 5th seed right now because they didn't play this week, and so this is the last week for buys for a lot of teams. But the AFC picture is a little more muddy on the backside, and I wouldn't say because of the Bills. I think the Bills are in the wild card if they don't beat the Patriots. If they beat the Patriots, different conversation. I think the Bills are in. If they win, they win out, and they're going to probably beat the Patriots next week to have a real good conversation about winning the AFC East. But the Bills are probably in. I think the Chargers, after winning tonight, going to 9-4, have a real good chance of getting in. Only problem they run into is that their last 4 games are gauntlets. They play the Chiefs. I saw the Chiefs on their schedule. I saw Cowboys, Texans, and I think Denver. And that's a 4-game stretch that is killer. The Chargers have it hard, okay? And then the team that I think really has the hardest time in the AFC is the Colts, because the Colts are 8-5 now, and the Colts are looking at a gauntlet themselves. 2 games against the Texans, another game against the Jags, and I think they have 1 easy game in there, maybe against the Titans, maybe against somebody else. But the Colts are the team that is going to go from 8-2 to possibly being 8-9, 9-8, and out of the playoffs, because Daniel Jones got hurt even more so than he already was with his fibula. Now it's a torn Achilles. Now he's out for the season, and now he's going to rehab for a year. It's literally looking like they're going to have a backup, maybe an undrafted. Reading about Phillip Rivers possibly coming out of retirement when this is the first year he's eligible for the Hall of Fame. That's how desperate the Colts are for good quarterback play, and hoping somebody comes in and doesn't just give up on their season. The AFC is looking really interesting, because in the wild card behind them, you got the Texans, who are surging. You got the Ravens, Chiefs, and Dolphins, who are all sitting at 6-7. Who are all sitting at 6-7, who have a real good chance. And I will side note and say I'm really proud of my Dolphins. Where the Chiefs are 6-7 after at one point in the season getting to 4-2, my Dolphins are 6-7 after one point being 1-6. So in my team's case, we're one of those momentum is swinging the perfect way, where we're starting to believe in ourselves. In the Chiefs' case, they've been up and down all season. They've found ways to win important games, but then have also found ways to lose important games. So now they're in limbo, hoping it doesn't get worse. But 6-7 can look different for multiple teams. Even the Ravens, who at one point 2 weeks ago in control of their division again after starting the season just like us, 1-5, my Dolphins, and right now also staring down the barrel of the truth of you guys have got to win out to make this really easy on yourselves. So I am really excited for the last month of NFL football. I think a lot of teams that have been judged, not even unfairly, just harshly because of results at the beginning of the season, are starting to kind of find their stride, good or bad, find their stride. And this is what I talked to you guys about at the beginning of the season, that I knew no matter what the narratives are in the first 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 5 to 8 weeks, things change in the NFL really quick. That's why it's called the not for long league also, because it's ever changing, and parity is such an important part of why these guys love football so much. Any given day, any given Sunday, somebody can be great at this. So CFB playoffs are almost here. NFL playoffs are a month away, and then things get serious and really interesting, and I'm here for it. So very excited. Football is now getting into the meat of the schedule, where we're really starting to figure out what shows up on the day of these games, who really wants to come and play and be dominant. So I'm excited for it. Can't wait, and here we go. All right, guys, this has been Midwest Brown Boy Chronicles. I'm your Midwest Brown Boy, Jalen Brownford, signing off. I love anybody, and I appreciate all of you for watching any of my videos. Like and subscribe to my videos. Come back and hear me talk some more. Again, appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. You guys have a good week. I'll see you next week. Peace out and love always.